Well, listen, we've got Shay Given on the line, Derby County's Shay Given. Shay, thanks for joining us.
Hi lads, you alright?
Very well, very well. Listen, tell us about the role at Derby County. I know you're a goalkeeping coach, but you're not just a goalkeeping coach. You're involved in all sorts of things under the new era of Frank Lampard at Derby County, and you've started well.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, obviously, primary job is, as you say, Keith, for the goalkeepers, but then also I'm working with the outfield players with regards to set plays and taking the meetings for that, and just different things, just trying to, I suppose, learn the new job really as anyone else. And obviously Jody Morris is there as well, and Chris Jones, both from Chelsea. Of course, they've been coaching for a number of years. Of course, and I know Frank's first job, of course, and we're ticking along okay. I think we're 2 points off top, so after 6 games we would have took that. We're changing the way we want to play from last year, the style of play and how we want to play, and that takes time. We brought some new players in, of course, as well, so we're trying to embed them into the squad and stuff as well. So, but no, we're going well.
I've really enjoyed watching even the transformation, Shay, in the first, I think it's only 6 games in, but first game of the season, you can see what you're trying to do, not quite getting there, get a couple of results, but then the last few games, sticking to it. The thing that's really, really impressed me has been the way Frank Lampard has spoken in the media, the honesty, the transparency, real. He's been very humble, in my opinion, the way he's spoken. What's he been like to work with?
Well, I think very passionate about the whole thing as well. You know, we're in nearly 7 days a week, and that's no exaggeration. And he's so dedicated to getting it right and getting the best out of the players. And you can see some things in the interview. He's very, very honest at times, and maybe in a few years' time he might not be as honest as a manager, because some things he's just a little bit wears his heart on his sleeve, because he's so much into it, and you can see by his interviews after, he's absolutely buzzing that we've won the game or whatever, and you think what he's done in his career, of course, and for the players at Derby now to be learning off him, and the standards he set in training and stuff, and the way I think the big thing as well, we want to play football, but at the same time we work really, really hard to try and win it back when we don't have it as well, and that comes from obviously every day in the training ground and working hard with that.
Yeah, obviously during his time with Chelsea, well, it was a bit of a basket case in some ways, in that they were changing manager every second season, but it meant that he had an opportunity to work with so many different types of managers, from Mourinho to Ancelotti, Benitez, Phil Scolari. When you first spoke, had he a very set way that he wanted to play the game, that he had a manager he looked up to that he wanted to replicate, or was it a little bit of a mix and match?
Yeah, I didn't really ask him too many questions on that front, but you would imagine, as you mentioned, Nathan, all them managers, I'm sure Frank has took a little bit from all of them, but he's got his own style. He doesn't want to be anybody else. He wants to be himself, and as I say, we do work hard at trying to play from the back, and it's not people watch this, of course, and not giving anything away here, opposition and stuff, but times we won't be able to do that. We have to have Plan B, which we're working on as well, and then, of course, as I said already, when we don't have the ball, it's everyone's working really, really hard to get it back, and not just sort of retreating back to the edge of your box or whatever and hoping to get it back. We've actually got different things set and planned to try and win the ball back, as quick as we can.
Shay, we've got Wales tomorrow night, as we well know. The build-up has been far from ideal. Myself and Nathan have been chatting a little bit about it here. Probably the biggest disappointing factor, I would suggest, would be Declan Rice and that affair. What was your take on the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, Keith, you would love Declan just to play, and he's played 3 games, I think, and just to continue playing that. But obviously, there's been a spanner thrown in the works, be that from Gareth Southgate or for maybe the player's age. I don't really know the inside, obviously, story, but it's disappointing from an Irish point of view, of course, that he's not, fully committed for whatever reason. I'm not saying he won't be in the future, but I suppose Martin's dealt with it well, in a sense. He's sort of give himself time, give the player time to come up with the right. I hope that he plays for Ireland again, because I think he's a big talent, and that's probably why England are sniffing around him as well. But he's played in all the underage teams for Ireland, and of course he's played for the senior team, and maybe that rule needs to be looked at in the future, Keith. I think once you pull on the jersey for especially the senior team, then I
agree, Shay.
Be it a friendly or a qualifier, it shouldn't matter at all. I think once you've crossed the white line and in a senior game, then I think you should be. That's who you play for then.
Shay, you've been in the squad obviously under this management team. Roy, look, he's never too shy away from having the odd confrontation too, but Harry Arter seems one that's taken exception to that. Johnny Walters, no big deal on his front, I don't think. What is Roy's role in this Irish setup?
Well, I think he's assistant manager. I mean, it says exactly what it says on the tin, and I suppose I don't have an insight on what's happened this week. I know there's been a few comes together, whatever. I don't know if it's arguments or anything else. I don't really know, Keith. I'm being honest with you. I was texting you earlier. I don't really know the inside story to anything up to this, But I mean, Roy's Roy. Roy can be.
Has he mellowed, Shay, from when you played with him to now as the assistant manager in a responsible role within the federation? Is there a mellowness to him?
But at the same time, when you're not happy with something, you're going to raise your voice and you're going to be not so mellow. And that's, obviously I'm in a coaching role myself now, and sometimes you do get angry with players and you maybe do shout at them, but 2 minutes later it's forgotten about. You're trying to get the best out of the players. You're trying to improve the players as a coach or assistant manager or whatever your role is. And sometimes maybe in the modern football, sometimes they can't take that criticism. I mean, when me and you played together, Keith, we'd be shouting at each other, do you know what I mean? But we walk off the pitch and, yeah, you're right there or you're wrong there. But it wasn't taken any further than that. I was expected to shout at you and you were expected to, it was just taken.
But there has been a change though, Shay, hasn't it? This isn't just there with Roy Keane. There has been a change. So I'm sure you would have seen it in the latter part of your playing career and then now going on to that side. What players can take now is very, very different. And we're not sat here like 56-year-old old pros, recently retired, and it did change towards the end of our career.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for the good either. I mean, sometimes, good rollicking, even look at Alex Ferguson. I mean, the hairdryer treatment is famous for, coming at half time and rollicking people and then they get a response second half and stuff. And I think that there might be a balance, Keith. Maybe it was too far that way, but maybe it's gone too far the other way now that you can't speak to players because they go off in the huff or they're in a mood roughie because, you've shouted at them in front of the rest of the lads or things like that. But I just go back to what I said, as a coach, then you sometimes you make demands out of people to try and get the best out of them. And that's not you want to be followed in. That's just, you're trying to make them better and make them better on the pitch and make the team better.
Do you get the freedom, though, as a coach to do that at your choosing, or do you have to go through the manager and have a talk about it in advance that you're not happy with something someone's doing, that you're going to have a word, that it may get a little bit heated? Do you almost have to run that past the manager, or do coaches get free rein with these things?
I don't think so. We don't go around shouting and bawling at people, but obviously if these things I think come to the sort of heat of the moment type things at times, and you don't maybe overly think through what you're going to say, or the player in the opposite way doesn't maybe overthink through it either. But in my career, in my opinion, once you've had a blowout or whatever it might be, then it's forgotten about, because both the player or the coach, we all want the same thing. We want what's best for the team. So sometimes clear the air and you move on. That's the simple thing. It's black and white for me. And if people take it, to heart or take it serious and they, want to, not play and stuff, it's just too far. I think, they're trying to get the best out of the player and maybe sometimes try and get a reaction, a positive one.
Shay, looking towards the game tomorrow, you've got a few players involved from Derby County, obviously Richard Keogh from our side, but then there's a couple in particular I want to ask you about for Wales. Young Tom Lawrence, I've noticed a big change in the way he's playing this year, and you've alluded to the way the team is playing. I think it's getting the best out of him, and also Harry Wilson, who you've got on loan.
Yeah, two very good players. Have had a very good start to the season, Keith. As you know, I think Tom Lawrence is a bit of danger. Definitely from set plays and stuff as well. He's got a fantastic strike of the ball. He makes the ball move, so imagine whoever playing Darren Randolph, whatever, it'll have to be, from a goalkeeping point of view, they can make the balls wobble a lot these days, and Tom actually practices it in training, so Darren's listening to give him a bit of a heads up. Like, he does like to get a lot of movement on the ball when he does, and if you say Harry Wilson as well, he's quite small little guy, but he's very quick and nimble, and he moves the ball quickly, and he's very difficult to sort of tie down because he's so quick off the mark and stuff. And I mentioned Keys as well. Richard Keogh's had a very good start for us this season, and we lost Curtis Davis to injury, and Keys' captain's armband on. These last few performances have been fantastic, so he's doing very well. But it'll be a tough game tomorrow. Of course it will. It's never an easy game with Wales, of course, and Ryan Giggs will be his first competitive game as well, so it'll be a big game for Wales as well. So it won't be an easy fixture. Come
on, Shay, 134 caps. You've had some dodgy build-ups and imagine down through the years, not far from ideal. Give us something to be positive about tomorrow. What do you think?
Well, I think obviously we'll probably all sat back and watch the World Cup and being at a major finals and missing out on that again. I think that the disappointment from that will probably drive the lads on as much as anything. I know it's not really sure how this tournament works, but it's obviously seeded for the next sort of Euros and stuff, and I just think the lads will be watching the summer tournament there at the World Cup and thinking, no, we should be there. Can we get to the next one? That's the desire and the hunger. And it's all about results. So with Martin and Roy and people at Ireland, but it'll all be about results. If we can get a result tomorrow night, then the little rouse arguments this week will be all put to bed. And playing for Ireland here, it's a massive thing for players and for managers, and you know, we all want the same thing. We all want to win the game. So, you know, please go and get the result tomorrow.
Shay, one thing I wanted to ask you just on your coaching, and you mentioned Harry Wilson, who might play tomorrow night, who's been with Liverpool, who's a very young player. When you get a player like that to Derby who's looking to get experience, who's come through a very good youth academy, played very successfully at underage level, and probably still has hopes maybe of making it at the very, very top, what are you trying to do to help his career as a coaching staff? Are you almost in a way trying to make him a little bit rougher around the edges, getting used to big boy football and very different from what he was doing at the academy, and the attitude that he has, and trying to get him used to 40, 44 games, 46 games a season?
Yeah, that's pretty much, Nathan. I think it's hardening him up to, you know, there's loads of kids in England and under 23s and stuff, and playing in front of not very big crowds and nothing really at stake and stuff, and they're at big clubs like Liverpool and Man City and Man United and stuff, and they've got the best of everything. And I think it's about good, right? Albeit Derby's got very good facilities. I'm saying, you know, they go out to the big world, and whereas, you know, points are so important to us at Derby County, every single result is massive, means so much to so many people, of course, at the football club, and that's a big difference from under 23 football to competitive. You know, we're trying to get out of the championship this year. It's a massive season for all of us, like, and he's part of that. So I think it's obviously hardening up for him personally. It'll be improving as a player, and you know, he wants to play for Wales, of course, as well. We have this, you know, most clubs do, you know, sing a song and stuff, and what's his ambition? He wants to play in the World Cup for Wales, you know. So he's very ambitious that he wants to, you know, be the best player he can be in his position, and of course for his country as well. And I just hope he doesn't play too well tomorrow night, I suppose.
Shay, listen, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
No worries, lads.
Cheers, Shay.